Hello students, myself Vishak Kumar Langalia, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from SSR College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we will learn some of the important concept of digital government. Sometimes digital government is also known as e-government. The very first concept about digital government is about the introductions. Let we start. What is e-government? E-government or digital government means any informations regarding governments or any transactions regarding governments are provided to the citizens online using the internet or any other websites. Then it is known as e-government concept. The various type of complexity layer are there when we are talking about the e-government. There are some of the state of India's which have already implemented the concept of e-government like Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, etc. Some of the country of world are also there who have already implemented the concept of e-governments like Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, New Zealand, Australia and UK, etc. This is the structure of e-government. At the backend side, the database server and web servers are managed by the e-government department. E-government department will communicate with the client or citizen using the internet, which have security softwares and hardwares like antivirus, firewall, routers, and etc. While citizen can communicate with the e-government department using the internet as a medium, using the proper hardware like modem, telecommunication infrastructure, and internet service provider. This is the basic framework of e-government system. Next, some of the fact about e-governments. When we are talking about the e-governments, there is no official seal or signature is there. It is purely paperless. There is no holiday. It works 27 by 24 by 7. There is no division or any other particular sections. There is no boundary of city. It is available to all. It is global. There is no public office. Directly with the use of websites of e-governments, citizen can access the various services of government. Whatever the services of government will be available to the citizen using the websites or web pages. The web pages have three types: static web page, dynamic web page, and interactive web page. These web pages are included in the e-government system. Let's learn the very first concept of static web page. When we are talking about the static web page, it is developed by the HTML. The content cannot be altered by the viewer or citizens. It can be altered only by the editors. Just citizen or users can view the informations which will be available on the web page. While we are talking about the dynamic web page, it is somewhat more interactive than the static one. Dynamic web page is dependent on the input which was given by the citizen or users. Based on that, web engine will make the query on a web server and then the requested web page will display on citizen site. This type of web pages is known as dynamic web page. Next, interactive web page. The most useful web page is interactive web page where users are able to make the transactions on web database using interactive web pages. User can update, delete, insert the records on database server with the use of interactive web page. Next, this is the spectrum of e-government websites. Basically, when the websites are developed, at the very first steps, the only informations and related operations are included. Then after, the forms that can be provided or printed are available or will be available on the websites. Then some of the informations are also fed on the e-government websites, and finally transaction related powers are given to the citizens, and from information based to service transformation based services or websites are available to the citizens. These are the evolution process of e-government development. The very first phase is startup, second is one-way interaction e-government system, second is two-way interactions, fourth is transaction, that is known as mature e-government system. It shows the development of e-government. Let's learn the step-by-step development of e-government. The very initial and first step is a startup. Static government informations published on the websites, just like law, rules, guidelines, handbooks, organization, policies, directories, all these things. When we are talking about the startup phase of e-development, here the citizens have no right to interact with the e-governments. Citizens can only read the information which is available on the e-government websites. It is known as passive relationship, where the citizens and governments both are play the passive roles. They have no right to communicate with each other. It is a very early stage of e-government development. Phase second, it is about one-way interactions. Here we have the active-passive relationship in which government play active role and citizen play passive role. Government can interact with the citizens, but citizens have no role or power to communicate with the government. For example, government can send the emails, can send the messages to the citizens, but citizens have no rights to make any type of query to the government. That is known as one-way interaction e-government system. Next, third one, two-way interactions. It is active relationship in which citizen and government both are playing active roles. Both of them are able to communicate with each other. For example, if government send an email to the client, then client or citizen is also able to send the reply of this mail. Here, citizens cannot make any type of transactions on e-government. That is a two-way interaction, e-government system. Next, transaction-based e-government system. It is a mature phase of the e-government system in which business or financial related transactions can be completed on e-government website. For example, if you want to pay the e-tax, then it is possible when your e-government websites come to the phase number 4. E-government is not only the computerized system, but it can transform the existing government to actually e-government system. One another areas of services. E-government consists four area of services. First, G2C. Here G2C stand for government to citizen, G2G government to government, G2B government to business, G2E government to employee. Let's learn the very first area, G2C, government to citizen. In this area, some of the services or some of the functions of e-governments are included that are provided to the citizens from the e-governments, like news, any type of publications, forms, transactions, revenue collections, online complaints, complaint tracking systems, citizen registrations like ID card registration, domicile certificate related registrations, birth and marriage registrations, all these things which will be used by the citizen are included under the area of G2C. G2G, it means government to government services. It is interdepartmental interaction system in which the various departments of governments can interact with each other. For example, one department want to report some another department, then it can be done in the area of G2G. Reporting, budgeting, various type of planning, administration related works, or any other financial planning can be done using G2G. Local governments can communicate with the central government or state governments. Various type of notice, summaries, policies, inspections, and observation related reports can be served using the G2G services area. Next, G2B. G2B is an area in which government provide the various type of services to the businesses. For example, e-procurement like tendering, like expression of interest, request for proposal, technical evaluation, financial evaluations, NOC related applications, trade or business related policies, guideline, e-tax fillings, loan related works. These all are the functions can be considered under the area of G2B. Next is G2E, government to employee. These are the area which include the various services of government employee. For example, some payroll related services, leave related services, allowance related services, loan related services, inquiry related services, which will be provided by the government to the employee can be considered under the area of G2E. One more area, it is about internal efficiency and effectiveness. In this area, the various tools are available which will improve the operations of government. It proceed the interrelated or intra-business applications of various unit of governments. For example, payroll system, e-record management system, e-training system, which will helpful to improve the government process. Next, the primary goal of e-governments. The very first goal is that to improve the quality, cost, accessibility, and the speed of delivering government information and services. Second, to make the government more accountable by increasing the opportunity for citizen participation in the governance process. Third, organize the production and distribution of public information and services in new way. These are the three goals of e-governments. Some of the key benefits of e-governments. First, it is less expensive, it is more convenient, it is available 24/7, it reduces the traveling cost, and waiting time. It gives the benefit to all the customers. There is no geographical boundaries. It save the time, save the money, and it reduce the bad check process. Now come to the social media platform which will be used in e-government system. Social media means it's one type of online platform or tools that can be used to share the opinions, experience, insights, thoughts with each other. It can take many forms or many other medias like text, images, audio, and video. It has ability to share the informations with the friends and colleagues using the internet. This picture shows the various type of social medias which was used by the e-government system to communicate with the citizen. For example, if government want to send the SMS to the citizen, then they can use the communication channel. If government wants to communicate with the citizens using the Facebook, then they can create their personal web page. Then that is LinkedIn and Facebook use. If government wants to share some videos, useful or informative videos with the citizens, then they can use the YouTube. These are some of the example of social media which can be used in e-government system. Now come to the next concept. It is about m-government. M-government is a subset of e-governments. M-government is particularly limited to the mobile and wireless technology like cellular and mobile phones or any PDA. It means personal digital assistant, which is connected with the wireless local area network to access the e-government. M-government can help make public information and government services available to anywhere and anytime to the citizens and offices. Thank you for listening me. Thank you very much.